The 1970s marked a milestone in the history of watches, with scuba diving gaining popularity as a recreational activity. Watchmakers raced to create robust and reliable tools for underwater adventurers. This era introduced iconic designs such as Seiko 6105, Captain Willard, and other cushion case divers. These watches seamlessly combined function and form, offering exceptional legibility, water resistance, and ergonomic cases built to endure the rigors of underwater exploration. Fast forward to today, and as my passion for watches has remained strong throughout the years, I once promised myself to limit my affordable collection to just 8 watches. But plans change, especially when a new gem catches your eye. This spring I added the Berny full titanium with the VH31 movement to my collection. After testing it through various activities, it earned its spot among my carefully curated affordable 8. But then September rolled around and Berny released a new model, so I couldn't resist checking it out. And here comes into play the next question. Will it become the 9th watch of my collection? I don't know, but let's find out. The new Berny, that at first sight surely looks like a 70s Seiko diver, has the model number AM1970M. I'm pretty sure that the name was not chosen randomly, but with the idea that even if Berny didn't exist in the 70s, at least it brings back the 70s vibe into 2024. In one of my last videos, I was talking about the luxury crisis, and Berny is one of those Chinese brands that make a great reputation in making great quality watches and that make even most expensive watches affordable. Of course, with affordable materials and movements as well. Positioned as the 5th model in the Berny compressor diver collection, it proudly upholds its lineage while delivering a unique combination of utility, style, and heritage. With a water resistance of 200 meters and thoughtful design details, this watch is worth not only stop scrolling your Instagram and stare at it for a while, but also try its features that on paper look promising. So here I am, I bought a new watch. Being inspired by the classic compressor dive watches of the 1970s, its design is reminiscent of Seiko's cushion case legends such as the iconic 6105. Its case shape draws upon the golden era of robust purpose-built tool watches while incorporating contemporary refinements. The brushed stainless steel finish across the case, unlike polished surfaces that scream for attention. The brush texture minimizes glare and resists fingerprints, making this watch as practical as it is handsome. At a macro level, the polishing is finely done and I see no inconsistencies in this aspect. The back of the watch, even a 13mm case thickness, does a great job and hides the screw-down back that sits completely flat on the wrist. The case being a turtle style that during the 70s it was referred as a D-shaped case, also has a slight curvature, keeping the watch flat on the wrist, even on slender wrist sizes just like mine. And still talking about the case, the lugs, which are part of the whole case combo, feature 20mm lugs that, even though might look a bit on the small side compared with the 22mm lug width for such a case shape, I'm still glad to see that Berny chose this size, as the most common strap size is 20mm. I typically wear it with its original FKM strap that not only it is comfortable but also long enough in case you ever want to use it over your diving suit. The rubber is soft and features stitching that I'm pretty sure was not necessarily needed. But the overall package looks quite nice and fits the style of the watch. Believe it or not, I was not a fan of the turtle case watches until I saw this one. And I saw the actual benefit of such case shape, as I don't know how the actual Seiko turtle feels on the wrist, but this one is one of the most comfortable watches that I've ever worn so far. The two crowns do not dig into the wrist at all, and being positioned at 2 and 4 o'clock positions and very well recessed, they do a great job being hidden in the case. On my 6.5-inch wrist, even though on paper it seems like a huge watch, it fits perfectly because of the lugs that are not that obvious, but actually are integrated in the case shape. This makes the watch fit even smaller wrists. Apart from the case, another aspect of it is the dial. The dial is a bit cluttered, but with clear hour markers, baton-shaped hands, and a no-nonsense inner bezel. This design tries to avoid clutter, doesn't necessarily succeed, but ensures readability even in challenging conditions. And talking about challenging conditions, this model featured, just like my other Berny, a sapphire crystal with a transparent AR coating, which surely wins over any Seiko mineral hardlux in terms of scratch resistance. And now, adding to its aesthetic, the dial integrates super luminous coating on the dial markers, hands, and inner bezel. The glow lasting up to 10 hours after light absorption. And is not that it's what they said on their website, but I tried it, and even in the morning it had a lot of light stored in the hands and markers, and I was able to tell the time with ease. And apart from that, it offers a rich layered effect in dark sometimes, creating the effect of wearing a smartwatch that features the always on display. Maybe the camera is not able to catch these details, but the hands, our markers, and inner bezel feature different types of super luminous coating, glowing in different shades and colors, making the watch a colorful glow. Maybe I praise it too much, and this is not a sponsor review. I know that a lot of users will not agree with what I'm going to say, but I like how Berny chose to still use the date function of the movement and try to blend it with the hour markers that feature the same square shape. It doesn't necessarily hide the date, but still maintains the overall aesthetic of the dial. Maybe you already know from my other videos, I'm a big fan of the date windows, as I very often look at the watch just to check the date, not necessarily the time. At first, when I ordered the watch, I was worried that I will not be able to pair it with my outfit and with things that I currently own. But I was surprised how easily it blends with my style and my daily accessories, like my 68 years old knife and fork, my tool pen, my favorite limited edition SIP 2019 badge, my favorite 1956 Ford Thunderbird, even my wife's chocolate cooking book, and my kids' favorite Minion cookies that are so good.
A few inches later.
The inner rotating bezel sets the AM1970M apart, harking back to the innovative design of traditional compressor divers. Operated with a screw-down crown at 2 o'clock, the bidirectional bezel allows for precise timing adjustments without the risk of accidental movements, a thoughtful touch absent in many modern recreations. This leads me to the unique bezel lock feature of the Yamaha Superman Heritage 39. For a diver's watch, this feature, which locks or secures the bezel beneath the crystal, enhances measurement accuracy, and helps preventing timing errors. An essential safeguard when your life relies on a tool as straightforward as a watch. Measuring 44mm in diameter and 13mm in thickness, the cushion case strikes an excellent balance between wrist presence and wearability. With a lug-to-lug distance of 49mm, which on paper looks big, this watch sits comfortably on a variety of wrist sizes, and I still support the idea that this watch doesn't feel like a big watch. As already expected, at the heart of this watch lies the Seiko NH35 movement, a workhorse caliber known for its reliability and ease of maintenance. With a 41-hour power reserve, hacking seconds, and a date function, this automatic movement is a natural choice for mid-tier dive watches. It may not have the precision of Swiss counterparts, but its proven durability and accessibility make it a favorite among enthusiasts. The beauty of such movement is that even though it can be serviced quite easily if you really insist to, if you really manage to break it, if you are really that tough with the watch, you can swap the movement with a new one and keep the watch running. It can also be customized, and being such a reliable movement, a lot of watch manufacturers choose this specific model because they can be adapted to various case sizes, sometimes even fitting in some 36mm case sizes. At the beginning of this video, I mentioned that there was still space in my watch box for a new addition. After wearing this watch for about a month, I can confidently say I made the right choice to keep it. Before deciding to keep a watch, I always put it through a series of tests. Since I happened to order this one during late fall, transitioning into winter, and also because it took for about 2 weeks to arrive here in Germany, I decided to take it on a 4-day trip into the mountains. There I visited my childhood friend Andreas, who moved into a mountain cabin 3 years ago. I took the train to Feldberg, hiked some mountains, and of course wore the Berny new compressor diver. I had to test it somehow. We all know that gaskets play a crucial role in making a watch waterproof. Well, I'm not a professional diver to test it underwater. I just love mountains and snow, so I figured out maybe cold temperatures and heavy snowfall would make an excellent challenge. And that's exactly what I subjected the watch to. After all, a watch like this is built for tough conditions, and I was impressed by how well the gasket seals performed against condensation. There was no fogging under the glass, no loss of accuracy, and no malfunctions, even with wet gloves and icy winds. It gave me confidence that this watch could handle any adventure I threw at it. Despite its substantial build and weight, the watch was comfortable to wear. It didn't dig into my wrist or feel overly heavy, which was a pleasant surprise. And these things being said, let's be honest, 99% of time I'll be wearing this watch on my desk, writing reviews or doing household tasks. But even if I ever happen to follow in Sir Edmund Hillary's footsteps and conquer the highest peaks, I know I can rely on maybe this watch to perform and keep precise time. When browsing the available models, I couldn't take my eyes off the yellow dial, so that's the one I went with. However, be aware that the photos on the website can be misleading. The yellow actually has a gold-like appearance in some cases, depending on the light, the color of the overall environment, and yeah, of course, the light intensity. But I can tell you that it looks better in person than in stock photos. And looking at this watch from another perspective, I see that it reflects the shift in global watchmaking dynamics. Where Swiss brands once dominated the diver's watch scene, the rise of accessible Chinese brands like Berny challenges the status quo. By delivering vintage-inspired designs with modern features at an accessible price point, Berny aligns with increasing demanding for quality, affordability, and heritage aesthetics. And Berny, just like many other Chinese watch brands, contribute to the luxury crisis. And even though Berny appeared into the watch market like a brand that was inspired by popular brands, let's not forget, in the last year, they even produced their own models, drawing less and less inspiration from known big brands. Thus, yeah, they become one of the new players in this domain. And this being said, I will leave you with some nice shots of the watch, and in case you want to buy it, I left a link to their website in the description of this video. And remember, I am not paid to make these reviews, I don't make any income from these reviews, it's just my passion for watches, my passion for watchmaking, and yeah, of course, my passion for new brands. And I see you in the next one. Tschüss.